Hello everybody and welcome to Planet FPL, the world where everything revolves around Fantasy Premier League. My name's Serge.
My name is James.
It's the end of game week 12.
It's an international break.
Yes,
Yay!
2 weeks of no FPL, my arse. We've already recorded enough shows. We're going to do like 12 shows in this international break, and none of them involve England in any way, shape or form either.
That's not specifically true.
Oh, true. Okay, this special that we've got planned for the end of the week.
And we don't know what the people's poll is for next Monday either.
That is also true.
Yeah. So, don't rule it out.
No, okay, fine.
Although no one gives a fuck about England, do they? Except every summer, every 2 years.
Yeah. Did you see my tweet at about 4 o'clock on Saturday? Never really liked football anyway.
I did see that tweet, yeah.
I can't say I am coming out of the back of game week 12 overly enthused with FPL, Premier League, any of it really, to be honest.
Okay, great.
I just thought I'd put it out there. I'm not
this is going to be a
myself up
depressing
to be
show, isn't it?
An enthusiastic host when I'm not.
Right, do something funny. We had a present come for us.
We did.
Go and get it.
Us. Well, you're the one that's normally drinking because I'm driving home quite often from the show. But Amber Redmond, she DM'd me to ask me what our address was. I thought she might pop up and join us on the show.
We don't live together.
Who?
Me and you, we don't live together.
No. We're just a address. And she said that because she saw you struggling with a bottle a little while ago, because we do have a useless bottle opener, she'd like to send you a bottle opener. And she did with this card. I'm assuming it says, thanks for insert joke about Spurs bottling it here. So this is a Tottenham bottle opener, courtesy of Amber Redmond on Twitter. So
Amber, thank you very much
really
for the bottle opener.
it.
It is a Tottenham Hotspur bottle opener. Thank you very much. I'm now just going to open my can of beer.
Yeah, ironic. I think everybody should follow Amber Redmond on Twitter, and it's got an extra R in between Amber and Redmond, so 3 R's in the middle.
When Ipswich do finally make it back to the Premier League in 2034, Amber's our Ipswich correspondent.
Oh, fair play.
Right, now let's have some fun.
That's a fair.
Beer's
you know
open.
what? We don't have any
6.8%. Let's do it.
We don't have any female correspondents. We need to get some equal opportunities, James. Come on.
Yes, I'm aware. I have a few that look like women.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into those details now.
Okay.
But all the Clash of the Correspondents...
Stop talking about your breasts again,
podcasts. All the Clash of the Correspondent podcasts recorded on every Thursday do go out on YouTube, so feel free to make your own judgments on YouTube. How was your game week, Serge?
So we went... it was a bit of a tricky one because of the injuries that happened. So I had a very firm idea of where I wanted to go at the start of the week, which was Aubameyang to Vardy, Callum Wilson to Tammy Abraham, and then Heung-min Son to Sadio Mane. That I would have kicked on after the City game, and Yarmolenko to somebody who's around the £6 million price point. That was my view last Sunday to Monday. In between then, we obviously had Champions League football. So Mount picked up an injury, which was not to be worried about, and Edison picked up an injury. So we got to the Friday morning. Luckily, I hadn't been the victim of any issues with any price rises. Actually, we got to the Thursday, and it looked like Vardy was going to go up in price. So I binned Aubameyang for Vardy on the Thursday, thinking that was a right long-term move anyway, and I wanted to miss the price rise. Price rise actually happened on the Friday night in the end by 0.1 million. I then had one more free transfer to make, and I was open to taking hits. But it just didn't feel right taking a hit on certain transfers going into an international break when I didn't know the extent of Mount and Edison's injuries. Like, I would have moved Mount on, and obviously he played at the weekend. Edison was an unknown return date. I would have moved him on. Now we find out today that potentially after the international break he's back. So I thought, you know what? I'll just roll my additional free transfer, have 2 free transfers in the international break, and still be willing to take that hit that I still haven't taken all season. I've made 9 transfers all year so far, which is not a lot considering I have played my wild card, to be fair, whereas you haven't. So I ended up just making the one transfer, which was Aubameyang to Vardy, And I knew that I was going to go into the game week with 10 players because Ederson was highly, highly, highly unlikely to play, and came out with 59 points, heavily skewed by Vardy captain. Great return for Maddison with maximum bonus points. And Heung-min Son picked up bonus points and a goal as well. Sorry, yeah, I think two
Vardy
bonus
got
points.
max bonus,
Two bonus points, sorry, for Maddison with the one goal. And an assist for Robertson. Apart from that, blanks all round.
You went up in rank, no?
I did, 1.6 to 1.4, couple of 100,000 rise. Third green arrow on the trot.
It's interesting that. So you hit 59, 200,000 rise. I hit 61 and rose 10,000 from 317,000 to 307,000. Vardy captain for myself as well. Goal for Abraham. I did Sterling to Mane, so goal Mane, assist Robertson, clean sheet for Ben Chilwell. I also ended up on 10 players. So that's 3 of us that ended up with no goalkeeper this week. So that's you, my team with Tom Heaton injured, and West Ham just don't have a goalkeeper.
Yeah, we don't. We've got the mummy, as he's going to be known forevermore, because he likes to wave his hands and flap them in the air and scare people. Ooh, he ain't scaring
He's gonna
no one right now, mate.
Listen, I know how this works. It's the Planet FPL derby in game week 13. He's gonna have a fucking worldie, isn't he?
No, it's the honest answer. He's that bad. I'd gone up into the top million after Saturday, and had Liverpool kept a clean sheet, I think I would have ended up on 70 odd points and probably would have stayed up in the top million. But you know what? 3 green arrows on the trot with 2 free transfers in the bank in the international break, with options to move in quite a few different places now. Callum Wilson and Yarmolenko are the 2 that I'm looking to move on, but Kevin De Bruyne is fine to hold. Maddison's been playing well. Mount's still decent. I'm a big fan of Son at the moment. I know Tottenham aren't firing on all cylinders, but he's been returning. Vardy, the 2 Liverpool defenders, Lundstrom. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 areas where I could potentially improve, and Yarmolenko and Callum Wilson being the ones. Obvious moves, Abraham, and maybe even Pulisic because I've got the money. So, yeah, I'm pretty relaxed and ready to go into game week 13 after this little break that we have. I think
Abraham's ownership is a problem for owners and non-owners. Owners, because there's no real way of getting the returns out of him. Non-owners, it really is an issue. However, I'd like to point out game week 14, he might be captainable. They're at home to West Ham. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even saying that insultingly. I'm talking about how you are defensively at the moment, the amount of goals you've conceded in recent games. That Abraham, this is one of the things I've been saying about
3 of the next 4 for Chelsea, Villa and Bournemouth.
This is
home as well.
One of the things I've been saying about Abraham and Vardy is there are weeks coming up where I really feel like they'll cover the captaincy. The problem with that Abraham West Ham is Leicester at home to Everton, you'd fancy. I think if you still held Aubameyang, they're away to Norwich.
Liverpool,
even
Brighton
Spurs
at home.
might tempt you at home to Bournemouth. And obviously, you've still got City at Newcastle and Liverpool at home to Brighton. Hitting your captain in game week 14 is going to be very important, I would suggest.
That's going to be a good game week, actually, to start some, maybe a little bit of differentiation amongst
Whereas
Spurs.
In game week 13... captaincy looks quite difficult. I would say on paper, the very best choice would probably be Aubameyang at home to Southampton. And then after that, it's probably take your pick between Leicester at Brighton, Liverpool at Palace, or City at home to Chelsea. It all feels quite close. I'm not undecided for game week 13. I think I would either personally be Mane at Palace or Vardy at Brighton. I haven't decided yet.
What's your views on captaining players playing against your own team?
We got asked that, didn't we?
Did we?
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I captained Sterling against Spurs game week 2.
I may go Heung-min Son next in game week 13.
Still shouted at the telly and told him to fuck off when he scored. I mean, I'm different to probably most of the listeners in that sense. I'll pick the player who I think is going to score the most. But I've captained, when Alexis Sanchez was at Arsenal, I'd captained him against Spurs before.
For me, it's going to be either Vardy or Son in the next game week. I'd rather Son, knowing how bad we are defensively. Having said that, Brighton are still leaky as well. And London Derby, you can never tell.
We'll come on to Brighton a bit when we get into fixtures, mate.
Yeah, indeed. Is that a good segue into fixtures?
Might have been.
Interesting results this week. As much as the weekend was made famous by your VAR rant.
We probably should have covered that off the start, shouldn't we? There is a whole pod on VAR that we released for the People's Poll. Go and listen to that. We're going to try and keep VAR out of this conversation. So you can tell them the fucking numbers.
You're at 83,500 views now.
It's pretty insane.
788 retweets. I think if you took my Twitter feed and all the tweets I've ever put out and summed up all the retweets, it probably wouldn't get to 788.
No, I mean, I've said on the People's Poll earlier, I've never had a tweet go off like that and probably never will again, to be honest.
Lucky you know where the mute button is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to see that face? I mean, everybody's seen my fucking face this week. It's quite scary thinking that, how many was it, 83,000 people have seen a video of my face over the weekend.
The impression's probably in the 100, 250,000 something.
I will clarify one thing, because Manchild asked, I hadn't had a drink when I recorded that video. I was stone cold sober. It
was well articulated.
Imagine if I'd been pissed.
Yeah. But overall, the VAR didn't have the most impact, not like it has in other weekends.
We're not talking about VAR on this podcast.
But the results, if you look at them generally as expected, to be honest, you could have called quite a lot of these results at the weekend. Norwich 0, Watford 2. I gave Norwich a chance, in this one.
But I think we all did, didn't we?
A home tie, under the lights, and they've fluffed it. You've got to now almost target anyone playing Norwich, surely. Everton at home, Richarlison next week.
Yeah, I mean, what a in a week of difficult captaincies. Yeah, I mean, a great differential choice. I mean, I don't suppose there's too many FPL owners out there that hold Richarlison. What was we saying? 3 goals so far this season, I think.
Yeah, not enough. Maybe Sky. It might be one for Sky, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I feel bad for them because they do have some decent players. I think they're trying to play the right way. They have a run of fixtures between now and the end of this year where they've got to pick up points quickly. The problem they've got now is it's a little bit like it got with, and for different reasons, like it got with Huddersfield, where it's like, we have to beat them.
Yeah.
Even though they've only just gone bottom, the weakness in them defensively. And when we spoke to FPL Badger Mark before they played Burnley in game week 6, we kind of joked to him, didn't we? And we said, you're going to have to score 3 goals to win a game. It's not proving incorrect at the moment, is it, unfortunately? And for that reason, a little bit like with Fulham last year, I just can't really see them getting out of it. I think like they'll have a good day or two at home, unexpectedly, and they play and it clicks. But I think in a weird way, although they've got a game that they can hold forever, that Man City game, it's probably not done them any favours because it has made actually all the teams afterwards take them fairly seriously. Mm-hmm. And now it might switch back the other way now because I'm saying everyone's going to target them. I'm still a Timu Pukki and a Todd Cantwell owner. I don't fucking know how or why.
It's those two plus Dale Stevens when I looked at your squad that I was like, bizarre.
Dale Stevens fine, it's first sub at 4.5 mid, doesn't really matter. I do obviously want to move Cantwell and Pukki on. The problem I've now got is I really did intend to play Mendy in game week 13 and I have no clue if he's going to play now. I don't know if I'm better off moving that before I move Pukki, and I'm kind of going to have to sit and wait on a bit of news on Tom Heaton. I don't really want to... I want to play him at home to Newcastle in game week 13, don't I? But I don't want to go another week without a goalkeeper either, and they walk into a difficult run after Newcastle. Yep. So at the moment, I'm kind of sitting with my hands under my bum.
That's what we do in international breaks. What are your thoughts on Watford? The one that always stands out is Deulofeu. He's a forward this year at 6.1 now, started at 6.5. He hasn't really got attacking returns, but in the last couple he has. I don't know if you can really... Do you draw a line on the pre-Quique Sanchez-Flores and post-Quique Sanchez-Flores and just disregard everything that came before and just look at him now? Is his place at risk because Deeney's fit again and maybe he's not going to get as many minutes? He does always come across as their biggest threat potentially going forward. it's either Deulofeu. Foster, unfortunately, started the season at 5 million. He's dropped to 4.8, so it doesn't become a consideration because the likes of Pope and Ryan are probably better value because they are a little bit cheaper. But other than those two, you're not going anywhere near Watford, are you?
I don't know. I first on Deulofeu, like he's a great differential at the moment. What's his ownership? Like 2.3% ownership. I think in terms of his place in the team, I know what you're saying because he's only played the last couple and that's kind of skewed a little bit as well by the fact Welbeck went off after 2 minutes at Spurs as well, which is why he played 86. He wasn't subbed on very early. But he started the game since, and Welbeck's obviously out for a while. And Pereira picked up a hamstring strain Friday night as well. So you would think Deeney comes back in for Pereira. I think Andre Gray, he's never going to be more, Stephen will tell you this on next Thursday's Clash of the Correspondents, he's going to be an impact forward for Watford. That's when you see the best of him. So I think you'll get frustrated with Deulofeu minutes sometimes, but he's the man there, isn't he?
Yeah.
They've been shy for goals. They need his ability. My concern from that would be they've scored twice at Norwich. Yeah, great. Was it 5 goals before? And I don't think we can judge anything attacking wise against Norwich at the moment. I would be more keen to look at them defensively, I think, if I was going to look.
But
they've got a good couple
everywhere.
of fixtures. Burnley at home, Southampton away is the 5:30 game in game week 14. If you want a bit of interest, go get Daryl Janmaat. I think Janmaat would probably be the best choice.
Chelsea 2, Palace 0. Now, Palace have been on a not such a good run now. They've been conceding goals in their last few games against Arsenal, Leicester City. So this organised team that keep clean sheets is now kind of out the window, or do we say that City, Arsenal and Chelsea is not a reason to judge Crystal Palace? I mean, first half they were better. Chelsea didn't break them down, but eventually they did break through. But then Chelsea have just got options everywhere. And I'll tell you what, Pulisic keeps returning. Points per minute is fantastic from this guy at the moment.
Yeah, really good player. There might be a bit of momentum coming soon from Mount to Pulisic, I think. I'm still, obviously with Jorginho's suspension at the weekend, it didn't solve the conundrum of what will happen. Does it just instantly become Kante for Kovacic? Who I think, so I didn't think it was the poorest I'd seen him for a while, but I think Kovacic's previous performances have been absolutely exceptional. You feel like Pulisic needs the place in the team. Is he a rotation threat because of Hudson-Odoi? You got Loftus-Cheek coming back soon, but there are questions. I feel like you're going to get
keep
burnt
scoring. I mean, come on, 5 goals in the last 3, 5 goals, 3 assists. He's played bloody. Let's look here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starts all season and 8 attacking returns.
It's difficult
that's
to
phenomenal,
argue.
Man.
It's not this week though with Man City away though.
No,
or is it?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, the jump from Mount to Pulisic is not small. I mean, Pulisic dropped to 7.1. He's now up to 7.4. I don't know what price you bought Mason Mount at. I got him at 6.6. So I'm only going to get 6.7 for him. That's 0.7.
It's far easier if you'd sell 6.2. I bought out.
Yeah, so 6.7 to 7.4 actually seems. You know what? I might fancy that. Pulisic.
If anybody wants to make the move Mount to Pulisic, I'm not massively against it. I think it's all right. I want to say on Palace, one thing before I forget. Joel Ward has picked up an injury. Could be out for a little while. Does potentially mean minutes for Martin Kelly. And they do walk into good run of fixtures after Liverpool. So the advice at the moment... what's Kelly's ownership? Still big, isn't it?
24.5.
Hold. Wilfried Zaha's performance on Saturday was concerning for someone who's targeting getting him in for game week 14. Must be said that Reece James played him so well. What a talent he is. Just another one to add to that conveyor belt at Chelsea. But I don't know, like you look at Zaha, what is he, 6'7", I think, and that little jump up to Pulisic. I mean,
yes, no comparison.
Is it just overthinking it? I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at this week and I'm going, all right, 61 points. I beat the average by, the overall average by 13 points. Is kind of where I'd want to be any game week.
No, the
rising
top,
10.
top.
But I've ended up in quite a template position. Somewhere, something going forward, I've got to take a gamble somewhere to make the next strides. I haven't got to. I could just stay with it. But I feel like he could be my differential Zaha. But surely buying him at the moment, even with the fixtures, over Pulisic would be mad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or is having 3 Chelsea attackers... Or is it just a case that their value is so good it doesn't matter?
I think their value is so good it doesn't matter. You want, as long as 2 out of the 3 return, you're fine any given game week. Look, you scored 61 with 5 returners this week. I was the same. So yeah, interesting to think about. I would take Pulisic over any of those other options that you talked about there, especially Zaha. Burnley 3, West Ham 0. I don't even want to talk about this game. We talked about it on Tottenham tomorrow's show. So if you want a little bit more of a in-depth conversation about it. But Roberto makes 10 saves, is our highest BPS, and yet is absolute garbage.
How many FPL points has Roberto got since he's been in the team?
15.
15.
2,
how many
3,
games?
2, 5, 1, 2. 6 games.
So there's only one there more than 3. Is that right?
2.1.
So did he only get
2.5
2 points at the weekend despite making 10 saves?
Yeah, he scored an own goal.
Oh, of course he did, yeah.
He scored a flipping own goal.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Suj is properly worried about the Planet FPL derby in game week 13. I really don't know why you are, mate. Like, honestly.
We're going down,
listen,
mate.
We're going to turn up. It's going to finish in a draw. Let's shake hands and have a beer afterwards. We'll shake hands and have a beer first because it's absolute certainty it'll be a draw, mate.
Well, if it starts at 12:30, mate, so we'll be having a beer at 10 in the morning if we're having a breakfast Guinness. But I don't know. Burnley were decent, though. I do think Dwight McNeil is one to keep an eye on. If we talk about Trent and Robbo with their delivery, he's got a great cross on him, that guy. Put it on a sixpence. He
really is a talent.
Put it on a sixpence, mate.
The way he kind of bursted on the end of Balbuena's mistake for the second goal was really impressive. Burnley so much better with Wood back in that team with Barnes. So difference is clear. I think the Sheffield United performance that Burnley had was a major issue for West Ham because you know you're going to get a reaction off them. Like Dyche wasn't happy. Got the reaction. 3-0 was probably the least that Burnley deserved. I unfortunately, McNeil just feels too much against players at the same value elsewhere. But
look, 5 assists and a goal and 5 clean sheets from a £6 million midfielder with very low ownership, 0.8%.
There is every chance I will be buying a Burnley player for game week 13. If you want to take a tip away from this podcast, take this one. Charlie Taylor is a player that we've mentioned on this podcast several times this season. Dyche is incredibly loyal to his players. So Eric Peters was playing well. He stays in the team. No problem. Taylor has got back in it. Played well at the weekend. Clean sheet to boot. 4.2 million, 0.6% owned for a defender in a reliable team. Charlie Taylor is very likely to become my 5th defender.
I've had him in my FPL North team sitting on the bench for ages.
Yeah.
Ages.
It's just another stroke of luck
Now
you've had
he's
with that
coming in.
team, in my opinion.
Stroke of luck.
So we've
Smashed
got
you again.
Jack at Turfy Topper on the 21st of November, which is before their game with Watford in game week 13. So I'll be quizzing him hard on Taylor. Why no Matt Lowton? Is Pope still a good option? I felt like anybody who had a really good week this week, ironically, had Nick Pope. Yeah, had the 9 points from Nick Pope after a few weeks of feeling like, oh, what am I getting here? I guess what you're getting there is consistency.
Let's talk about West Ham briefly. Sell all your West Ham assets. Now we've finished talking about West Ham. Should we move on?
Cool.
Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 1. I mean, Steve Bruce must finally feel like he can go and have a pint in the town in Newcastle without people shouting at him and giving him grief. They're quietly ticking along. This result's not surprising. I mean, I saw their performance against us just the week before. And Saint Maximin and Almiron and these guys do cause trouble with their pace when they're getting in behind. They are rapid, and they did it again. Picked up the results. Off you go.
We got to get straight onto the comedy moment. The Almiron shot being blocked by Saint Maximin. I wasn't aware that it happened when I was watching the highlights on Saturday night. And as Almiron went to hit it, I thought, it's going to fucking hit Saint Maximin.
Yeah.
Saint Maximin, like he got in on the first half and he hit the bar, and they both got the same problem. They've got no composure. So Saint Maximin tries to lever the thing like he's hitting it from 45 yards as hard as he can. Doesn't need to.
Do you think they listen to the show and they know that we've tipped them both never to score?
I mean, we haven't really said it about Saint Maximin because he's not been in the team long enough, in fairness. But Almiron is becoming like ridiculous. I think you can physically see now that he's like, yeah, I'm used to this shit. I'm never going to score, am I? And he plays all right. I mean, Saint Maximin is, I don't want to call him crapid. I think he's better. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's
when
all right.
he runs with it, he's lively as. Certainly,
First assist of the season.
Certainly, were you going to look at a Newcastle asset from an attacking sense, you would look at him at 5.4, 0.4% owned. And it might sound mental. Decent fixtures coming up. You probably are not going in the next couple. Villa away, City at home. Then Sheffield United, Southampton, Burnley, Palace, United, Everton. There's a run of games where like he might get something. I just feel like it would be a major gamble. Almiron will never score. I'm telling you, he will never fucking score a goal. This was really impressive from Newcastle.
The day that Almiron scores, we're going Chick King because we still haven't been.
I'm stocking it on water. It's the end of the world when Almiron scores a goal. Mate. It's never going to happen. The Stefan Freund of the North. Really good from Newcastle because, in all honesty, they got absolutely battered for 20 minutes. Bournemouth should have been well out of sight. Scored a beautiful goal. Well worked. They're clever on set pieces like that, Bournemouth. And a nice return there for Harry Wilson. But Newcastle got themselves back in it. Fantastic goal from Yedlin. Love a diving header. The old school listeners will love that as well. Proper old-fashioned diving header. Don't see many of them anymore. And did well. Look, the winning goal was fortunate, but they've had some good results. They've very quietly got themselves into the top half. I think Bruce is doing a really, really good job.
There are tons of listeners that will have held on to Callum Wilson for a little longer than they may have liked, and or Josh King. I mean, Josh King's had attacking returns more recently, so maybe Josh King owners are not as concerned or panicked. But Callum Wilson is so annoying. I could have easily moved him on to Abraham, but I thought away at Newcastle before the international break doesn't feel like a transfer that I need to make, so I didn't. He blanked again. Now I'm really at that point where I'm going to pull the trigger and get rid of him, and now's the time he's going to come back and fucking hurt me, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's your problem. You buy a Bournemouth player, it's your problem, because when you sell them, they will score.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ryan Fraser's back in the assists. He picked one up at the weekend. He started the last 4, having been out of the side, but he's just too expensive, isn't he? 7 million. When you could have Mount at 6.8.
Remarkably, we spoke about this a few weeks ago when we was talking about differentials, like when we did our differential wildcard, and you don't even mention like Fraser and Sigurdsson. Now their ownership has fallen so low unexpectedly. Ryan Fraser, 3.5% ownership.
Too expensive.
Mad,
still.
Isn't it?
7 million's too much. I wouldn't go near it, mate, to be honest with you.
It's in that Pudicic area, isn't it?
Sadly, yeah.
Like Madison area, you're just not going in on there, are you? But Callum Wilson's still at 4.5 points per game. Like, it's all right at his value, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You've got to expect this. He's going to have runs. He's going to have negatives. Unfortunately, yes, you probably do need to sell because the value around it in... I know Tom, who got the assist, wouldn't say it, but I'll say it. The value in Vardy, Abraham and Jimenez is almost undeniable, unfortunately.
Southampton 1, Everton 2. Everton get away points? What on earth is happening here? Is something...
Wham, dearies, it was Southampton at home.
Yeah, I mean, Everton have always got a few players that are worth looking at and considering if they're playing well.
Yeah, where are they?
If they're playing well.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's always false dawns with Everton, isn't it? Like us, they beat us and then they'll play pathetic the week after.
This was a massive result for Everton. They need another massive result at home to Norwich in game week 13, which I think Everton at Goodison you would trust to get the points. Because following that, it is Leicester away, Liverpool away, Chelsea at home, Manchester United away, Arsenal at home. Then Burnley at home, Newcastle away, Manchester City away. They're still in the fight down there. I don't think there's any threat of them getting relegated, but they are now coming to the end of what we perceived right from the very start, an incredible run of fixtures. Ends essentially with the Norwich fixture in game week 13, and they are completely avoidable.
Yep.
Completely avoidable. Just as a note, Mason Holgate at 4.4 million has played instead of Michael Keane in the last couple of games. Obviously picked up the assist for Tom Davies' goal at the weekend, and I'm told has played quite well in the fixture at Southampton at the weekend. I thought he did fine against Spurs in what was quite a turgid game. Wasn't overly tested in that fixture in game week 11. Might be one to watch further afield. He's someone I owned a couple of years ago from a really cheap price, Mason Holgate, and he's just not really kicked on. He had the loan at West Brom last year, and it kind of looked like what looked really promising and a career that was possibly going to take him into the full national squad. Hasn't really kicked on. There's an opportunity for him. Go and take
There's not an FPL opportunity here, though, is there?
No, I don't think you can look at Evan. I mean, Richarlison, for me, is saying about differential. It's the same thing, isn't it? 7.9 million.
Too expensive again.
Unless you've got your Pulisic, Madisons, I don't see how you can really.
No.
And they're about to walk into those fixtures
Horrible
as well.
fixtures, yeah.
He's at 4.7 points per game, Richarlison. It's good for the value, but I think you're looking elsewhere, aren't you?
Talk to me about Spurs 1, Sheffield United 1. You were
I
there.
don't want to talk about Southampton assets, no?
There are none that I'm considering.
Sell 'em.
Danny Ings, if you like that kind of thing. Nah.
They do have a couple of decent fixtures, in seriousness.
Yeah, but nah.
We do think, I guarantee there are people out there who made that more pay to Ings move last week.
Sure.
Well done.
Yeah. Spurs 1, Sheffield United 1. We talk about it in more detail on Tottenham, which is coming out tomorrow. So if you want a real rundown, especially on the tactics of Sheffield United and how they set up and how they've been coached, because James does go into quite a bit of detail on that.
Did I go into too much detail?
No, but we'll let the listeners decide that by switching off.
It was the point I was talking about Sheffield United and the movement of the rotation of the overlapping, and I could see him, he was glazing over.
I was just, you know what? Thought it was Tottenham, not Chef and whatever.
Well, I disguised Tottenham quite well by talking about
someone else.
The excellent football team that I saw at the weekend. I'm not getting into the VAR shit here and now, just that it's ridiculous.
If I could have seen the whole Burnley game, I might have had been able to speak more about that.
They are excellent, Sheffield United. Honestly, you want to tip in game week 13, they'll beat Manchester United.
Nice.
They're good. They're seriously good. They are so well coached. I was so impressed with them, massively impressed with how they come and impose themselves on the game. All right, they hung on a little bit right at the end, but it would have been such an injustice if they hadn't got something out of the game. John Lundstrom is a joke from an FPL perspective.
He's a must, isn't he?
It's ridiculous.
Even at 4.8 and he's due to rise again.
It's ridiculous.
Just get him and play him, right?
I'm sitting there, I've obviously got him in my FPL team, and the listeners know I switch off it. But with him, I was obviously conscious that he's in my FPL team and what he is. And more for this, I was watching out for him. He breaks into the box. He does not stop. He is incredibly energetic. He's powerful. He's a really good footballer. I don't know. I mean, even Sheffield United fans will tell you the improvement in him is completely unrecognisable. I'll repeat what I said on the last podcast. He is not an out-of-position defender playing holding midfield. He is an out-of-position defender in one of the best defensive sides in the league so far this season, who is the person that is most likely to break into the box. He missed the sitter of a chance quite early on in the game, should have scored. Hit the post a few minutes later. This is not a joke now.
Yeah.
There aren't actually, in my opinion, there aren't actually even fixtures you can leave him out. And the fact that he didn't return at the weekend, as much as say I was incredibly fortunate to end up with the 21-point haul against Burnley, let me tell you that very easily could have been 21 points again at the weekend.
Yeah.
Is your computer crashed?
It switched itself off because I haven't plugged it in. But it's all right. We don't need it.
Have you got no battery?
Nah.
All right, fair enough.
Nah, it's all right. I've got my phone. We've got plenty of technology around us.
Why don't you just charge the computer?
Yeah, I don't have the charger here. It's all right. Manchild will bring it in a bit.
Manchild!
Leicester 2, Arsenal 0. If you listen to the match reports and also from what I saw of the game, you'd say that Arsenal did have their moments and did have their chances. And even the Arsenal fans that I spoke to said, you know what, it wasn't the worst performance. They didn't get absolute steamrollered. I see it quite differently. I think Leicester could have raised it another gear in the first half as well, and ultimately were the better team by quite a way. I just think they had
by
another,
the end.
I think they had another gear that they didn't use necessarily.
The other gear that they had was more quality. I'm not saying that to be disparaging about Arsenal. I'm saying that because I think so much of this Leicester team at the moment.
They're fantastic.
That midfield three might be near perfect, you know, in terms of how well they complement each other.
Which three are you talking about?
Ndidi, Tielemans and Maddison.
Okay, and then you count Barnes and Perez as wingers, forwards?
Yeah,
okay,
they're
fine.
wide forwards, aren't they, really? Barnes a winger, Perez a wide forward.
It's really a 4-1-4-1 almost.
Yes, it's very much what it is. It can quite easily, if they're in trouble, revert to a 4-5-1 or a 4-3-3. It does have flexibility within that formation. It looks at its best when Barnes and Perez hold wide positions, which allows Maddison and Tielemans to obviously get really close to Vardy. That midfield three, no jokes, is exceptional. Between the three of them, they have absolutely everything. I think in hindsight, the fact that nobody's gone to blow them out for Maddison in the summer, and the fact that nobody blew him out and let him buy Tielemans is a joke. And Ndidi, I wouldn't be surprised if Barca, Madrid, all of them come looking for him next year.
Maddison, I'm not going to lie, I've owned him for however long I've owned him. And he was an expensive buy, I feel, at 7.1 or whatever. I bought him for 7 maybe even at the time. The first few weeks, I've been nervous about owning him, where the kind of pressure's on. I made that choice of going to Maddison. Would he get the attacking returns? Would he not? No one ever disputed that he's a class player. It was just whether or not he'd get the FPL returns. He's ticked along nicely week in, week out, and since risen so much in price. He's at 7.5, and he's due to go again this week. I feel like now Maddison is just served me so well, and will continue to do so. That's 1, 2, 4 in the last 5.
Was he starting 7, was he, Maddison?
He started the season 7. I picked him up 7.1. He's now 7.5. And he'll continue to rise. He keeps getting interest. He's scoring goals now.
I think they both will.
4 already.
Him and Tielemans will both continue. Maddison more.
Yeah.
Because there's slightly
Set
more
pieces.
goal potential, if you say, and it's kind of flavour at the moment as well.
But he took his finish fantastic.
Oh, brilliant goal.
Technique just through the laces, bang.
Jamie Vardy scoring at the weekend. It's easy to say in hindsight, but I think we felt it quite strong, didn't we, in terms of the captaincy on him. It was never in question for me. Even Adam at 352, our Guna correspondent, was like, it's the most inevitable goal of the season when Vardy scored against them.
He's due a price rise again today to 9.6. You could easily come out the other side of the international break, 9.7, 9.8. He's going to hit 10 million before long. The thing is, like, what you're looking for in FPL is hauls, and that's he's had a 16, a 12, a 20, and another 12. These double figure hauls, he's probably had the most of any player this season now so far, you'd assume, right? Maybe Kevin De Bruyne's had a couple of hauls as well. Why would you not just stick the armband on him and leave him? You've got Brighton away, Everton at home, Watford at home, Villa away, Norwich at home. Like that Norwich at home, fucking triple captaincy material, surely.
I don't know. By the time we get there, it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't personally, because I just think I would still rather. I don't know. Even he might even be right, Suj. Game week 17 at Everton Norwich. I don't know. I don't think I would, but I think for those who do want to use it in a single game week, like Like, fuck yeah. The reliability of a Vardy against Norwich at home at the moment, you could see that. There is absolutely, and this is not a joke, there is a case, you're right, for captaining Jamie Vardy in the next 5 game weeks.
What do you think Leicester realistically believe their ambition is this season? Because they've got to surely think that we've got to close the gap on Liverpool. It's 8 points right now.
We'll have Foxy FPL back on before they play Everton in game week 14. We'll ask him again. When we spoke to him before they played Southampton, he was still, he would have been really happy with, I think he would have, even at that point, he would have been quite happy with even Europa League, like if they fell short. I think when we ask him again now, he'll be like, no, it's got to be top four. And they're definitely one of the 4 best teams in this league at the moment. I don't think that, I feel with them, and this is harsh, but I think like that midfield 3 and Vardy, any injury in there is a massive problem.
I don't know.
Not
Damari Gray played.
Not a problem.
You've got Albrighton in there.
Damari Gray looked really good. It's something that actually would put me off Barnes at the moment.
You've got Albrighton in there to come in potentially.
Yeah, I just think that midfield 3 is so good. So good. I'm not sure if like Pratt and others that might step into that area are going to be reliable. I think Chowdhury would do a good job.
Yes, they can handle 1 injury. Maybe they can't handle 2 or 3.
Vardy's still the 1, isn't it?
Oh,
Suddenly, if they lose him, I think if he was to get injured, they'd probably play Gray or Barnes up front at the moment rather than turn to Ian Asher. Just probably play with like a false 9 or something.
I think my question around what are they aiming for is, I want to see. I'm worried that they're not going to be ruthless. Now that they've got to a certain point where they're reasonably comfortable, I'm worried that they're not going to put their foot down on the accelerator and over the next 5 games.
You want to ask the question, didn't you? Can they win the league?
No, because I think Liverpool will win the league. I want them to believe that they can win the league so that they go for it, so that they're ruthless in games, so that in the next 5 they actually really take teams to task so that we can pick up these FPL points by captaining Vardy.
But in the undercurrent, as well as we've said how good that midfield is, through the spine of that team, there were players that know how to win at the top level. In obviously Schmeichel and Vardy are the 2 that remain from the title winning side, and Johnny Evans has been there and seen it done it at United, right?
Yeah.
So they have got players there with
Rodgers won the league for the last 4 years or whatever in Celtic.
Don't get me started on Scottish football.
Yeah, but
I'm going to say something that's going to lose me a lot of listeners. So I'm
winning
not
mentality. He's thinking about winning. He's come from winning. I'm just hoping that they try and win.
I'll answer the question. They can win this league. It needs a combination of a number of things. It would need, I would say, in certainty, they would have to take at least 13 points from the next 5 games. They would need Liverpool to be slipping up unexpectedly in those next 5 games. They would need Man City to continue to be an occasional comedy show defensively, and Chelsea also to have their moments defensively. I would, if you pinned me now and you said, right, one of Leicester or Chelsea is going to win the league, who will it be? I would say Leicester.
I would agree with you on that. I just think they have a little bit more steel.
That said, both Leicester and Chelsea are both 40-1 for a reason.
Let's talk about Manchester United 3, Brighton 1. Disappointed here. I thought Brighton would put up a bit more of a fight, to be honest with you.
Jesus fucking Christ. Arsenal escaped for another week, didn't they?
Should we talk about them?
No, there's nothing to talk about. Other than, in seriousness, we'll probably talk about them a bit next week. That
we'll talk about when Jose's in charge, yeah?
No, Aubameyang is a serious captaincy shout in game week 13.
He is. I'm going to stick with Jamie Vardy, probably.
We didn't really cover it in terms of, look, I think if Lacazette scores early in the game, for example.
Could have been a bit different, but...
Yeah, I thought they were a little bit brave. I think he picked a team with Ozil playing kind of generally centrally and Aubameyang and Lacazette going into wide position. I see what he was trying. It was just never really on, and it wasn't really on. It was kind of... He's tried it both ways now. He played the diamond at Liverpool where they let Alexander-Arnold and Robertson go. And they've tried it this time where they've tried to track Pereira and Chilwell. It didn't really work either time. You don't really want to see Lacazette going and defending in your own box and stuff like that. Felt like defensively he did an okay job. He picked a team to placate people and get Ozil in that team without Ozil being a hindrance, right? He didn't do anything. Come on. I actually think Arsenal might see some benefits of going to that back 3 though.
Let's see.
And there was notes in commentary that it wasn't planned. It was like, they've been thrown together. They played it in the Europa League in the midweek before, so I think it was being worked on.
Manchester United 3, Brighton 1. I'm disappointed. I thought Brighton might come away with something and actually put up a bit more. But United were quick on the counter again. Martial, 2 assists, 7.7 million. He's had 2 price rises since he came back from injury, but he's returned in every game.
Yeah, note on Brighton, and guess who this is going to refer back to? Jamie Vardy. Lewis Dunk suspended for game week 13, 5th yellow card of the season. And I think it showed yesterday that they really missed Adam Webster, who'd went off injured in the first half against Norwich. And suddenly you're back to Duffy and something else at centre half.
Yeah, who would it be? Burn?
I would have thought they'd go Burn back in with Duffy and probably bring in maybe Bernardo at left back, although Bernardo's got a knock as well. So they might even, I don't know, shove Montoya into right-sided centre-half, go to wing-backs with maybe Solly March as left wing-back. Put it this way, there's an issue there for Brighton.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all we need to know.
Just pointing out. I think when we looked at this run of fixtures for United and we said, maybe they're not as good on paper, the sides are not going to kind of let them counter-attack. Well, Brighton, unfortunately, is...
They play one way, don't they?
Yeah,
really?
Brighton have to take the criticism with the praise that they've had recently and made the same mistakes that they made at Stamford Bridge and the same mistakes they made at the Etihad earlier in the season. So, look, it's a brave philosophy. I think they're going to continue having away games where they'll get exposed on the counters. They've got a midweek fixture at Arsenal coming up where, do you know what? They might actually go there and dominate the ball. But in certain situations, Aubameyang and that might kill them on the counter-attack.
You can't see Sheffield United allowing Manchester United to play in much the same way or making any of the same mistakes that perhaps Brighton did in terms of giving them space in the system.
There's a massive... If there's a criticism of Potter's Brighton at the moment, there is a massive difference, and this is where Sheffield United are excelling at the moment. I'll talk about this a bit on Tottenham tomorrow. Their transition when they lose the ball, Sheffield United, is exceptional. Brighton haven't quite got that yet, and it's worth saying that Brighton obviously are kind of playing more of a back four now, whereas Sheffield United have stayed with that back three with the overlapping centre halves. But they played into United's hands here.
Yeah.
Sheffield United won't.
No.
I don't think Villa will the week after either, although we come on to them now. Villa could have lost by many more at Wolves on Sunday.
I was disappointed with Villa as well. I thought they would put up more of a fight against Wolves after their European exploits. Bradley Parker, when he came on with Adam Hopcroft, said 2-1, and we thought there'd be a goal in it. I went 2-1 to Villa. All in all, Wolves were well worth their victory, and they created a lot of chances. Traore was the one that really stood out for me. Just because of his pace, he is quick, and whoever it was Target he was taking on at left back, he'd just knock it past him and bang, he was gone, and he had all the time in the world to put a cross in, of questionable quality sometimes, but that pace and strength is going to serve him well. I thought Traore was the one that really, I was like, oh, okay, I can see how he's transitioned well. I thought Doherty played well as well. From his right wing back position. All of them. Neves, Moutinho, good team,
I'm looking at Wolves' next 6 fixtures. Bournemouth away, Sheffield United at home, West Ham at home, Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Norwich away. Bar Sheffield United, and perhaps to a certain extent Bournemouth, there are teams there that they can absolutely expose on the counter-attack, which makes Traore... Look, we've joked for a long time and called him the ultimate crapid. But one of the reasons I've always called him the ultimate crapid, I told you I saw him as a kid for Barcelona play at White Hart Lane in a youth game. And he was unbelievable, man. You thought, this could be what we thought of when we first saw him BAP. I'm not joking.
Really?
He's got if he runs at you, you can't stop him. It's physically impossible. Yeah. He is too quick and too powerful. You saw Douglas Luiz in the last minute yesterday or near the end of the game. He's not a
small
Mickey Mouse. He didn't get near Traore.
He's built like a brick shit house, that guy. His muscles, his t-shirt is
What's really helping him now as well is, and I think Jimenez's movement for the goal is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it pissed me off that.
He knows why.
Because movement.
You don't own him.
No, movement. I watch my team and they're just so static. All you need to do is move.
I got the same issue. We talk about coaching on Tottenham. But I think Jimenez is a very clever footballer.
He is.
And I think he knows with Traore, let me make it really fucking obvious for this guy. So he does that. Jimenez puts himself in position where he looks like he can't get him. And at the last minute, he knows when Traore is going to have the availability and he's making the space. Now, I'm not saying Jimenez is doing that, especially for Traore. But if you look at there's an angle from the side, like he really makes it very obvious for Traore that he has to give him the ball. Traore and Jimenez are both under consideration for me. Just a note on both. Bournemouth, obviously, defensively is the next one away from home. And Bournemouth are, in spite of the result at Newcastle at the weekend, are looking better. You could make a case that the two goals Newcastle scored at the weekend certainly had an element of luck about both of them. And they are looking better defensively. Both have a knock. Traore's been called up for Spain. So there's that no, but that's how well he's playing. You think of the great Spanish teams, right?
Yeah.
What's the one thing that often let them down?
Maybe pace.
Exactly, right? This case
ticky-tacky, but yeah.
Suck people in and then imagine Spain playing him on the counter-attack the way they keep the ball.
Yeah.
We laugh about it, but why should we laugh about it? Didn't they play for all those years with Jesus Navas, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Traore that much worse?
Nah, maybe
Navas
not.
won it all in the game with very limited ability, if we're honest.
Okay.
So
Jimenez got to travel to Mexico.
And he's been in the Spain squad and he's obviously going to be desperate to play, isn't he?
Mm.
So certainly Jimenez, yes, I understand, will travel for Mexico. They're both being assessed this week at the time of recording. Villa got well beat, but if you take out 3 players from a spine of a side like that, you're going to be in big trouble. Heaton, Engels and Grealish. And obviously lost their second goalkeeper as well. I was diving in to see what price Nyland was, praying it'd be 4.0. I thought, I'll just go Heaton and this guy.
Yeah.
We'll fix that one. No. It's 4.3, unfortunately. So that's...
solve that problem.
Villa be all right. It just had a really bad day. Who do they play next, Villa?
I don't know, is the honest answer.
I'm going to look because I would expect the way Dean Smith
Newcastle at home.
Of course they do. There'll be a reaction.
Followed by Manchester United at home.
Followed by Manchester United, Chelsea, Leicester, Sheffield United away. We've got to start putting Sheffield United away in this category, by the way.
That is some tough fixtures coming up after the next one for Villa. Let's talk about the big one. Liverpool 3, Manchester City 1. I felt like the game was just killed after 15 minutes. I felt... Okay, they're 2 up and they're just playing too well. By 30 minutes, you knew how it was going to end. Liverpool just had too much control over the game. Even though City did play well and had possession, I saw those 2 early goals, from a contest point of view, killed it. And I don't think City, they played all right, but they weren't incisive necessarily. So, yeah.
I know what you're saying
ended very early.
I know what you're saying about the game ended early. The one thing I took out of it tactically was I've spoken in the past about how Liverpool set traps when they don't have the ball. Mm-hmm. They set traps with the ball, in my opinion, on Sunday. There was periods of the game. I watched the game. It was Harry's birthday yesterday. So
Happy birthday, Harry.
Little man is 1. Yeah, unbelievable.
Can you believe it?
No,
kept him alive for a whole year. Congratulations.
No, I fucking can't. But me and my father, we left them around the fucking in-laws so me and Dad could watch Liverpool Man City in peace, right?
Nice.
Yeah, we're not silly. So I was saying to my dad watching the game that I felt, and I hadn't obviously noticed it before, that Liverpool were desperate for City to press them. And the reason it was brave is because Lovren was in their fucking team, right? Mm. And he can have a moment. They were desperate to invite City on, knowing that as good as we say that midfield is, if you consider Fabinho as the sitter of that midfield 3, in terms of technical qualities, although they had a really good period in the second half, Liverpool, Liverpool don't really want to get into a possession-based contest with City because City can kill a game, right?
Yeah.
With the technical qualities. You can argue limitations about Gundogan, for example. He's a good footballer. He doesn't really give the ball away or anything. I thought Rodri struggled and probably wasn't particularly fit. City obviously went to a 4-2-3-1 basically with De Bruyne off of Aguero. I'm not sure that will last, but we have seen it particularly late in games with City. You think of the Everton away game where De Bruyne went into that position. But they were setting traps, encouraging City to press. There was a point where Fabinho just kept going backwards. He wasn't even looking up for the pass. They wanted City to press before they could miss the midfield out and whip the ball into particularly Mane and Salah, and obviously then Firmino dropping into the holes. It was fascinating to watch. I felt Liverpool had a far greater control of the game than what was obvious to the naked eye.
Yeah, normally the first thing people will look at is possession stats, right? And this is one of the situations where City had more of the possession, Liverpool had more of the game, in my opinion. Their delivery from the fullbacks was just, I thought, well, look at Angelino's clearance to Fabinho for the goal, sloppy.
I couldn't believe he was picked. I thought it wasn't too bad, but...
The clearance for the goal was just sloppy. And then Salah getting in between, like Salah getting his head on the ball because he's like taller than you by about half an inch maybe at best.
Salah?
Yeah.
He's got a few inches everywhere on me.
But for him to be getting in between big centre halves and defenders to get his head on the ball was bad defending again. But I mean, when the ball's that good, I suppose it is pretty tricky.
I honestly,
I just think the defending City was exposed.
I couldn't believe that Mendy didn't play. Like, I genuinely was gobsmacked. I sat here with you before. It was probably last week's pod when we was one of them anyway, and we was talking about Mendy not playing against Southampton.
Yeah,
and I probably want him to play the Champions League and then Liverpool. I was astonished when I saw Mendy wasn't playing. Now I know he is a fucking dumbass as well defensively sometimes. You're not going to tell me that they wouldn't have been better off with Mendy playing at left back than Angelino.
No, he would have been. But look at Pep's press conference after the game. He talked about what a great game Angelino had. And to be honest, Pep now, I mean, he's not any different now than he has been in previous seasons, but he's almost just doesn't seem to handle the pressure well. He kind of just rambles on a little bit and tries to smoke and mirrors. And I wasn't being sarcastic with the referee.
Everything ignore half the shit, right? Because he's mastered it in the same way Mourinho previous and others have. His silence and not talking about VAR is almost saying more than not saying it, because he didn't need to say anything, did he? No. Because we'd already seen it on the pitch.
Yeah.
With the way, I mean, nearly took poor Michael Oliver's hand with him. Most of the decisions weren't Michael Oliver's fault, by the way. No, whatever you thought on that's another podcast that we did earlier. I'm not sure I feel comfortable talking about the idea of does he deal with stress well. But I'm not sure that he handles, I'm not sure he handles the pressure as well as other top managers do. I think
he doesn't have to deal with it as often as others do.
Well, there is that as well, right?
So,
like, how blessed are you? I thought, like Gary Neville's comment in commentary about how much fucking money, basically, do you need to spend on fullbacks and you're still going to, moan about it.
Yeah.
You know, he's bought Angelino, Cancelo, Mendy,
Walker,
Danilo.
Yeah.
All right, weren't all fit. Get that. Did I miss one? I feel like I might have missed one even.
Zinchenko was cheap, to be fair.
Yeah. You bought John Stones as well.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Laporte.
Yeah. He obviously won't play Stones and Otamendi together. Laporte is a huge miss. I think when we look back on, I agree with you that I can't see Liverpool losing the points. I feel Liverpool will get 100 points.
If you said to me now, would you rather play City or Liverpool? I'd say City.
Yes.
I mean, 12 games in to have lost 3 and drawn 1, would never have seen it.
I'd agree with that.
I think that their backline, you can get. I think people are going to start thinking, we can get at this defence.
Well, I'd play Man City any day of the week with Bravo in goal as well, by the way. personal opinion.
Yeah, he probably could have, should have maybe got to Fabinho's shot. Maybe.
I mean, the third goal, Mane, like, he gets there.
Yeah.
Save it. You're there. You've got it. Save it.
Yeah.
He's so bog average. He's better than Roberto, by the way. I'm not sure he's better than Gazaniga, by the way.
Nah, Gazaniga's done all right.
Yeah, he's properly pony, unfortunately. Bravo. I was confident pre-team news and Champions League fixtures that Liverpool would have too much from. I mean, the transfer for me, Sterling to Mane, once I'd seen like Ederson was likely out, it was absolute no-brainer. There's nothing to wait for here. Mm-hmm. And Sterling did all right in the game. We've often been critical about him, about turning up in some of these away games where he'll get stick, like Anfield, Old Trafford and that, Stamford Bridge, that kind of thing. But he was probably City's best player, I thought. He was threatening throughout. He had a good battle with TAA. The problem from an FPL perspective is just not turning in returns right now. And I think you should be in a position looking at the next fixtures where you'd feel comfortable captaining Raheem Sterling against Chelsea in game week 13. It's still City at home. Don't worry about its good opposition. And I don't feel like people can feel that way right now.
Nah.
So I think the movement has already been beginning. It may continue.
Shall we go into some Twitter questions? Because we still got a bit of time.
I think Liverpool win this league comfortably, in spite of what I said about Leicester earlier and all that stuff. The City got too many problems defensively.
Agreed. Should we do some Twitter questions? Let's do it.
Yeah,
because I feel like we've wrapped up the games in just either side of an hour.
Did we actually do that relatively quickly this time?
Yeah.
I feel like
spent ages
Tottenham got off very lightly, but don't worry, there's Tottenham tomorrow.
I think West Ham got away.
Arsenal got away with murder.
Yeah. I just thought that now that we've got the international break, we don't really need to get into too many team-based questions necessarily on tactics because players could get injured and transfers and all that kind of stuff.
This international break's my favourite one.
Because
there's fucking ages to the next one. Let's do some cues.
James doesn't like international breaks.
I really don't. But we will be live streaming next Tuesday night.
Oh, nice.
Just because we want to talk about international football.
Oh, true.
Why not?
Right. I'm going to try and pick the non-FPL related
just
questions.
Do them all.
We ain't time, mate. There's like
You're going to pick the non-FPL related questions?
Yeah, because we've got a week and a half till deadline day. So someone's saying
just lost so many listeners. You know, only 30% of people listen to the end anyway.
They're football related. They're just not like, shall I pick player A or player B?
There's no VAR questions, is there?
No. And if there were, I would ignore them.
Okay, cool. How many views have I got now?
Jimmy Mac and Cheese at Claret FPL. How are you, Jimmy? Who's the one previous Spurs and West Ham player that you'd have back in the current squad? Spurs for you, West Ham for me. One player that you'd have back in the squad.
It literally is only two names in my head.
Ledley King.
But before you do, Jimmy, hit us up on Charlie Taylor, please, for an opinion on that.
Yes.
Who would be yours?
I thought you were gonna say your two. Ledley King.
No.
I'd have.
No, I'm sick of watching us not dominate football matches. Moussa Dembele or Luka Modric.
I would have Julian Dix back on one condition. Every underperforming player he went around and punched in the face.
Brilliant. What a club you are.
I just need someone with a bit of effort.
I think Spurs should go and ask Leicester how much for Tielemans and give them about 10% more as well. Missing.
They paid 40. You're not going to get change out of 70.
This is part of the thing with Spurs, right? And I've not said this on Tottenham, so it's not a spoiler or anything. Like, Sissoko has been really, really good for Spurs over the last year and a bit. Really good, genuinely. Doing everything that he can. He can't do anything more. He's a limited footballer. The problem's twofold. One, we are only good defensively in transition when Sissoko's in the team. So essentially, if Sissoko doesn't play, we get absolutely crucified on the counter-attack. That said, he is no good to me in fixtures where we dominate the ball. And it's not his fault. He doesn't even particularly give it away anymore. He's He can't pick a pass. He's got no vision. He's improved tenfold. He keeps the ball. He moves it on. He recycles. He never stops working. But it's not enough, is it? Right? And this whole thing needs to change now. That's why I'd play him at right back as well. Get him out of the midfield. Yeah. But Dembele, Spurs fans are going to, in a couple of years, sit down and go, what the fuck? How good was that guy? We did a pod a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And I said, like, Modric and Dembele overlapped. Fuck, man, if they played together, we could have done some serious things.
Tartan Espanol wants to know, if you or I were wild carding this week, what would the spine of your side be? One goalkeeper, defender, midfielder.
You've got to pick best choice
attacker.
from
So
all
your
four.
spine. Yeah.
Roberto in goal.
Ha.
It's cheap, isn't he?
No, he's
I
not
really
cheap.
don't think it
He's
matters.
not-
If he
he's
doesn't,
not cheap
the
enough
thing
to
is, right,
survive.
we tell you shit. If he doesn't score an own goal, which he could do any week because it's a little bit like that. But where's he finishing on? 4 or 5 points?
2 he finished
Maybe
on.
even BPS as well. He must get hammered for having the own goal
Yeah,
and the
true.
BPS.
Maybe.
And how many would he get ever?
Forget
5?
about it. Okay, pick Roberto if you're mental. I'd probably take Dean Henderson right now. I think he's pound for pound.
Don't
best.
forget he's ineligible for game week 13.
Yeah, but if you're wildcarding, you're picking your team for until the next wildcard. So I think Henderson post game week 14. But yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. I think there's just a consciousness. As well as I've said they've been, they're a little bit concerns about them double defensively. I think actually the best pound for pound asset in the game at the moment might be Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, he's a little bit more expensive. I'd probably save the money elsewhere.
I hate keepers at that valuation. I've said it so many times, but I think pound for pound that they're all right defensively. That might be, and I say that because if we go for TAA Robertson, I don't
One
give a
or the
fuck
other.
what anyone
Robbo's
says.
now
I
crept
don't-
ahead, 5 points ahead now.
Is that right?
Yeah, 57 plays 52.
You know how many people have hit?
Yeah.
flip
The
flop.
price
I
rise
can't take
back
it
up.
anymore. The solution to you don't know which one to have is have both.
Both. Yeah.
Midfield.
Mane for me. If I'm wildcarding now,
I mean that's
Sadio
the
Mane.
premium I've just gone to. I'm not. We didn't really talk about it. I'm not concerned about KDB, by the way.
Me neither.
Not concerned.
He's still getting on the ball. It just the end product wasn't quite there. He's still taking the corners. Not that they whip him in. They're always playing short.
That
corners,
position
but
that he played yesterday, and I touched on it very briefly about like sort of late in the game at Everton, where he kind of went into this 10 position. My God, if he plays there regularly, some of the damage he'll do. I don't think he will, by the way. I thought he was saying in the build-up, De Bruyne, wasn't he? He was saying, I've been playing a bit more defensive lately. As soon as I saw that, do you know what I thought? He's playing at 10 on Sunday.
yeah. Man,
Who's up front?
Jamie Vardy,
Vardy,
mate.
yeah. To be
Jamie
honest,
Vardy.
It's not even a joke. It's the truth.
Yeah. It's interesting. Armin Bafner, actually, his question is, what good options if I want to get KDB out and another midfielder in? I mean, why would you want to get KDB out?
No, I understand it, and it's frustrating, isn't it? I think it was particularly as well the Villa Southampton fixtures. You think, big monster returns here. The thing with KDB is a consistency, right? Like the Watford game, when it was 17 odd points when we had him as vice captain. Like he doesn't have many of them, but quite often he only needs one return in a game to be hitting bonus and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the argument of case is De Bruyne's son, isn't it? In terms of value comparison.
Yeah, they're the closest price to each other.
I don't know. Did we start comparing Vardy at that value?
Yeah, he's getting up to that point.
If you want to do that one, I'd say, yeah, Vardy at the moment. But then I've always maintained all season long that I never wanted a top striker. I didn't want to be below Vardy. And since the three above him are just not enough right now for me, as in Aubameyang, Kane, Aguero, like Vardy's immovable till injury for me.
Yeah. Bradley Parker sent us in a question, as we'd expect, saying that is it time to now forget the Wolves Europa League kind of voodoo because they've only lost 2 games all season. On top of that,
Is that right?
That's what he's put in his tweet, and I'm going to trust him.
Don't doubt
in the
him.
league.
He knows.
Yeah. And also him along with AT at Teasel Thomas, they both say, who impressed you most from the weekend? For him, it was Adama. He's well and truly no longer crapid. Bradley also says, is Traore a cheap way into the Wolves' attack? I think he just suffers from. He's 5.2 million as a midfielder. Doesn't really fit into my squad structure. I'm power midfield, 5 midfielders. If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do Jimenez. I don't think it's one of those where going a couple of million cheaper.
Yeah, that's a little bit what I've been thinking with Traore. Yeah.
Even Jota this season doesn't. I don't feel like you can cover it, if that's the phrase that you want to use, where maybe you might think that Mount covers Pulisic or
he definitely
Mane covers
at
Salah,
the moment though Traore offers value for money at his price.
2 goals, 2 assists, and both goals came in one game. So it's not
5.2 million.
He's not exactly tearing it up. Yeah, I don't know. But then you're going to play him.
You can see the improvement. It's another one. It's valuation. It's awkward. Is he your 5th? Is he your 4th? Are you cutting corners? Like, is it similar to when a lot of us obviously went for Cantwell, where it looked like he was going to burst up in value? I agree with you to the extent that I feel like if there's to be investment in Wolves, go for the man, which is Jimenez. But I can understand anybody who goes for Traore at the moment. Definitely, honestly, like Traore is injury prone as well. Like, wait till your deadline. Don't be trying to hit the price seriously. That they're definitely 2 players. Don't try and jump the price on. Wait.
At Shiva FPL, Shiva wants to know: is Martial better value than Mount, Pulisic, Maddison, or Tielemans? We've now got this. I mean, Tielemans are put to one side because he's cheaper, but 7 to 8 million has got a number of players now putting their hand up. Pulisic, Maddison, and Martial you can put into one category.
Martial will influence people because of the position on the pitch.
Yeah.
I thought of what I've seen of the game, and it's only 15 odd minutes from the game yesterday. I thought Rashford impressed. Rashford is not an FPL consideration for me. Martial, because of his positioning in the game and his position on the pitch, would be. I tell you what it reminds me of. I spoke about Martial after the Chelsea game in game week 1 and how I imagined him in game week 2 when they played Wolves away on the Monday night, and how he probably wouldn't get in behind, and it would be a game that would probably he'd get very frustrated in. He basically had 1 kick and scored. I'll judge after Sheffield United on Martial, because I feel similar to this to how I felt in the build-up to that. I genuinely, I'm not joking, I think Sheffield United will have way too much for Manchester United. It won't batter them, but I think it'll be similar to the Arsenal game.
Yeah,
they attack well, they defend well. I think they're not silly. They're not going to go at United and open themselves up to what their good players do on the counter attack. Expect Sheffield United to go 5-10 yards deeper because they're very well coached, and expect them at times to threaten and hurt United in their weakest area, which for me is still in the centre of the pitch.
Couple of questions before we wrap up, James. There's a few people that have mentioned your friend Harry Kane. What is going on with Harry Kane seems to be the general consensus. A few people are saying, look, he wasn't running after 70, 80 minutes. Is he fit? Are we due to see him come back? Is it a case of you mentioned it on the show? A player's
he can't win,
peaking
can
early?
he? He drops too deep. He runs too much. He stays up front. He don't run enough. It's always going to be like that with a player like Kane.
I don't know. He's not performing at the moment, is he?
I mean, fucking hell. I don't know. Unless you got the ability of like a Messi or something, I don't see how too many players would be in our team at the moment.
What, performing
There's
well?
no creativity. He's having to go and get it himself. The only creativity he's got is if Spurs are on a counter and Son's running at someone. That's the only creativity he's getting, or a direct ball into the channel. And you have to remember with Kane, it's not like he's obviously got the physical hold-up play and the ability, but he's not got the pace to find the ball in the channel and then go and sprint beyond someone.
No.
So there's no creativity in the team.
So you think Kane in himself is fine, it's the players around him that are the issue?
I think he plays within himself a little bit more now. Right? One of his weaknesses, I spoke about so many times when he broke in the team as a kid, like he'd be fucked after 65 minutes. I mean, fucked. He'd do more running than your average player would do in 90. I think he's conscious of the injuries. I think he's playing within that. I feel like he's leading the line more now. So I don't know what people want. oh, Kane's too deep. Oh, Kane's up front. He's not dropping short. Like, if Kane's not scoring, Kane's the captain of the national team. Kane's going to get in for that criticism one way or the other. Harry will score goals. Harry might keep us up.
Keep you up. Oh, dear. Last question to wrap up, James. Slightly shorter show. Is from FPL Potter. Jamie, do tweet me with your Sky scores, mate, because we're supposed to be having a competition here. I didn't even log in and check my team, which you'll find out on Wednesday with our Sky show. But do tweet me because we've got a pint riding on this. But his question today is, if you could start the season over again, what is the one thing you do different from an FPL perspective?
Oh, not a lot.
Yeah, but that's not really an answer to the question.
No, it's not. It's fucking boring, isn't it? I wouldn't have bought Todd Cantwell. It's boring, isn't it? Right. I mean, Otamendi and Mendy, City defense. Those two have been two wasted transfers where, had I never made those two transfers, I probably would have the team I really, really wanted right now.
Yeah. I've got one regret. I didn't move on Chelsea players quick enough. I've left Abraham still, and I was very late on Mount, and I haven't really looked anywhere else. I think I left Chelsea players too long, and I missed out quite a bit on points there.
The only thing I might have done differently was when people were wildcarding, I might have been a little bit more aggressive in terms of maintaining a hit or two. But I think for me personally, I've been so much more aggressive in my play this year than I would normally be.
How many transfers you made this year? Do you know?
I don't know.
I find it interesting.
I think there'll be hits before game week 13.
After the internationals, of course.
If Heaton's ruled out, I'll almost definitely be taking hits. Which then that's dodge, is it? Is it worth taking a hit for a goalkeeper?
Well, if Heaton's out for a long time,
are you better off just taking a 0? A hit for a goalkeeper, is that ever worth it?
Well, it depends what you're going to do the week after.
Especially when you're in a league which only had, 3 clean sheets at the weekend? Shite, isn't it?
You've made 15 transfers this season. I've made 9, albeit I have used my wild card, so we're probably there or thereabouts. But yeah, 15. So you've taken 3 hits so far.
Is that all?
Yeah, 3
You
hits.
can see my game week issue.
Well,
I think I've taken more than 12 hit. 12
well,
points.
you'd have had 12 free transfers if you'd taken 1 a week. So if you've taken 15, roughly 3.
I'm really trying to improve my aggressiveness in FPL play. I'm not aggressive enough. I am trying to change that.
You have taken more than that.
You could have just got the game week history up. Would have been a lot fucking easier.
4 hits so far this season,
There you go.
which is very aggressive. That's 1 every 3 game weeks. But I think a lot of good players do take more hits and what have you.
Your boy Tanner at the weekend, we took the piss out of him, didn't we?
Yeah, where is he in the overall world rankings now?
Search back for Clash of the Correspondence we had with Dara at the Tinkerman was a fucking blinder. We ripped this poor guy. He's still second in the world, I think.
Doing all right, mate.
Yeah, he took a -12. Look at his -12, though. This is really good, actually. His -12 from last weekend is banging. Come on, Suj, work hard
What am
now.
I doing here?
Down, game week history, transfer history.
Wait, game week history.
Down. This is a podcast. Transfer history.
Yeah,
down.
you're trying to make me do things that I don't know how to
Go
do,
to
James.
where's
View
his team?
transfer
That's
history.
it.
Here we go.
Look at his -12 from last week.
Okay, so Salah in for De Bruyne, Mane in for Sterling, Martial in for Mount, Rashford in for Aubameyang. All 4 of those returned.
That, my friend, is risk and reward, mate.
All 4 of the others did not. That is class.
That's a proper -12, mate.
And
that is so big. You're taking a -12 and you're taking Aubameyang, Mount, Sterling and De Bruyne out of your team. That's brave.
Still ended the week on 87 points. Less the hits. Game week rank of 17,000.
So he's net 75, isn't he?
Yeah. Still a fantastic score.
I still love his backline, but you can't argue it. Dunstrom and
Duncan
Luke.
Lundstrom.
Dunk, Lundstrom, Rico. Who's his other 2 defenders?
Right, and he has Gilbert and Kelly.
And Kelly, he's got Dunk suspended, and now Kelly's fucking going to be back in the team because of Ward's injury.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the United double up in Martial and Rashford, but, it came off this weekend.
It did pay off.
And now that they're both fit and
If
they
he
may
listens
play
to this, he
very
might
well
take
together.
his strategy. We know from what he released in some articles, like fuck the defense. The thing is that -12 paid off this week, right? That would very easily go the other way.
Yeah,
And
true. Cool.
But well played.
Indeed.
How long have we been recording?
Hour and 20.
Oh, come on, keep going.
You want more Twitter questions, eh?
yeah,
Let's find a couple more. FPL Thomas, FPL_Thomas8 on Twitter. Follow him. Who do you think will be the managers of the following clubs at the start of next season? Spurs,
Mourinho.
West Ham.
Mourinho.
It can't be Mourinho at both, mate. Although I wouldn't put it past him to like stick a kind of Manchurian candidate in one of his mates to fuck up another club. I don't know. I think if we lost Pellegrini, we'd go and pick up some unknown, obscure manager. Arsenal?
Mourinho.
Nah.
Who's the last one?
Manchester United?
Definitely Mourinho.
Nah.
All right, seriously, managers of those 4 clubs this time next season, I will go for Pochettino.
Yeah.
As you'll hear tomorrow, I'm becoming less and less convinced. If Pochettino goes, it will be Mourinho. West Ham, I'm going to go for Eddie Howe.
I would take that. Pay that guy fucking 10 million a year and be done with it.
Arsenal, I'm going to go for Mikel Arteta.
Interesting shout. But not a bad shout at all.
With Henry and Lundberg. Seriously.
Freddie's already there, right?
Yeah.
Terry's not.
And Manchester United, Allegri.
I think we've worked off the assumption that everybody there is getting fired. But otherwise, what's the point in the question? You don't think anyone is keeping their job?
Let's reframe that question. Who's most likely to afford them to stay in their job?
Poch.
That's the right answer. It really is.
Yeah, Poch. He's achieved more.
I can't tell you how desperate I am for him to make it right. This is a spoiler for Spurs fans. Tottenham tomorrow, I talk about Wilder and Pochettino and coaching a little bit, and it's a hard listen. Maybe skip it.
Let's do one last question before we make sure we don't run out of memory on these SD cards and nonsense that Manchild has to do. Is it viable to go with Salah and Mane?
Yes.
A few people are now questioning that move, whether or not Salah to Mane is the right thing to do, but now getting rid of De Bruyne and Sterling for Salah and Mane.
I have made my bed. TAA, Robertson, Mane. That's it. We are finished. What you got to do now is you hold your nerve. So when Salah scores a hat-trick up against Palace,
yeah,
which he probably inevitably will do if you're in my case, you hold your nerve. There's no changing. That is it now. I've made my choice and it's Mane. I've made my choice on those two guys. I always said when I went the two of them and Van Dijk and then came down to Matip that the only thing would change my mind was the idea that I felt I had to get Mane or Salah in my team. That time arrived mainly because of Raheem Sterling's performances. So it's Mane for me, and they ain't moving for nothing other than injury or a blank game week in game week 18.
Which is around the corner.
Some of us have still got a wild card in our pocket though, so it's all right.
Yeah, don't worry, you can use it. What else to add? Do you want to tell the listeners everything we've got lined up for the rest of the week, James?
Yeah, already recorded. Tottenham tomorrow. West Ham, brutal. Tottenham, not much better. Arguably not better. I really give out some tactical stuff on Sheffield United. I was so impressed with them on Saturday. I thought they was exceptional. Wednesday, we've just recorded it prior to this show. Paul, our friend at Sky Player and FPL, probably the reason we've started our regular Sky podcast. He's joining us on Wednesday, and I think it will come out really, really well. On Thursday, we got at FPL Pringle and at Rotation FPL, talking about Man City and Chelsea. We never thought when we programmed this one into the schedule that Chelsea would be above City. So fascinating. Listen, Johnny's really switched on about City. I bet money he was at Anfield yesterday. And Ted's obviously so pleased with the way Chelsea are playing. And Friday, we have a special. We're doing racism in football. We'll be looking at it past, present, future, solutions to how we fix this fucking disease we've got in in our game. If you liked the Berry podcast, you'll probably like this one.
Correct, indeed. Other than that, it's time to put your feet up, everybody, because we have the international break. Don't be rushing to make your transfers. Vardy, Mane, quite a few are looking for price rises already today, mate. People need to slow the hell down.
I've got too many issues to be making any moves. I need to find out which one's the worst issue.
Down. So yeah, just take it easy. Do tune into all the rest of the content. We'll be back in your ears before you know it. Other than that, ciao for now.
Thanks everyone. Cue Music Man Show. How many views that video got now?
83,500. It's gone up by about 3.
Fucking weird people.
See you guys soon.
Cue Music again, man child. Boom. Cheers. Love you. Bye.
The Fantasy Football Show.